soft enough to quiet every doubt I had. I trusted the pauses between your sentences, thought silence meant you were choosing me back. I memorized the warmth of your promises, never checked if they were real or rehearsed. I wanted the truth to love me, so I ignored the way it hurt. I fell for the lie, not knowing it was dressed as hope. I held on to words that felt alive while you let them come undone. I fell for the lie because loving you felt right at the time. I didn't lose you, I lost myself believing the lie. I defended you and my heart warned me, told myself pain was just fear in disguise. I called it patience, called it understanding, but it was me shrinking to survive. You never asked me to stay smaller, you just never noticed when I did. I mistook consistency for commitment and charm for something deep. I fell for the lie, for the version of you I made. I loved intentions, not your actions, paid in truth, got paid in shade. I fell for a lie while you stood safely behind it. You walked away unchanged, I walked away carrying it. The betrayal wasn't sudden, it was gentle, slow and kind. You didn't shatter me with cruelty, you broke me by wasting my time. Some lies don't sound like deception, they sound like almost love said twice. I fell for the lie, but I stood up in the truth. I stopped begging for clarity from someone who always knew. Fell for the lie, but I won't live there again. I learned the difference between love and illusion, and I choose myself in the end. I don't hate you for the story you sold me, I forgive myself for believing it through. This is not a song about losing you, it's about finding me after you. I trusted the quiet in your eye, thought silence meant you were staying. I stitched excuses into my nights while you practiced slowly escaping. I gave you truth with shaking hands, you treated it like something weak. You saw the cracks forming in me and chose not to speak. You let love play without stopping, watched it spill all over the floor. I begged for care, not perfection, but you couldn't give me more. You stood there clean while I was breaking, calling distance space I need. I loved us enough to fight for it, you let love bleed. I carried the weight of your indecision, made it my fault, you felt unsure. You kept one foot out They come from being ignored. You let love bleed when it needed saving. Let it die between your doubts. I asked for effort, honesty, courage. You chose the easier way out. I won't blame myself for loving deeply, for believing in what we could be. But I remember this truth forever. You let love bleed. I'm learning love should protect me, not leave me alone to grieve. If love comes back, it must fight, or it won't bleed through me. I handed you my history without armor, every fear I never said out loud. You listened like it mattered in the moment, then walked away without a sound. I believed the way you held my hands meant safety. Didn't know they were already letting go. I mistook your calm for honesty, your silence for something real. Trust meant nothing to you, but it was everything to me. I built a home out of promises, you treated them like debris. I was careful with your heart, you were careless with mine. I learned too late what love costs, when trust meant nothing to you. I defended you when doubts were screaming, made excuses I didn't even believe. I kept choosing hope over my instincts, because loving you felt like loyalty. You called it misunderstanding, but betrayal doesn't need a name. You didn't break me in one moment, you did it slowly every day. Trust meant nothing to you, you spent it like it would renew. Every truth I gave you freely, you bent until it wasn't true. I stayed honest when it hurt me, you hid behind half-truths in time. I lost pieces of myself where trust meant nothing to you. The deepest wound wasn't what you did, it was how normal you looked doing it. You slept fine while I unraveled. Learning love can be counterfeit. Some people don't cheat with bodies, they cheat with words they never mean. Trust meant nothing to you, but it cost me everything. I questioned my worth, my judgment, every sincere thing. I won't apologize for believing, for loving with no disguise. I survived the truth you avoided, that trust meant nothing to you. One day love will feel like safety again, not something I have to prove, but this scar will always remind me what it took to walk away from you. you trust like it was oxygen, never thinking you'd breathe and walk away. I believed in the quiet parts of you, the ones you never planned to stay. Every promise felt warm in my hands, but none of them survived the truth. You smiled like nothing was breaking, while my face slowly learned to bend. I kept choosing understanding, even when you chose the end. I loved you in full sentences. You answered me in half meanings. I didn't need perfection, I just needed honesty to exist. Love was a victim when you changed the rules, when loyalty became something optional. I stayed soft in a world you hardened, paid with my heart for your control. You didn't destroy me with hatred, you ruined me with your calm. Love was the victim, bleeding quietly in my arms. I defended you against my instincts, silenced every doubt that tried to speak. I called your distance being busy, while my soul was learning how to leak. You never promised to save me, but you let me think you would. The betrayal wasn't loud or cruel, it wore patience like a disguise. You let me fall slowly, so I blame myself for the climb. Some wounds don't come from anger, they come from being led on gently. Love was the victim the moment you knew, and still chose comfort over truth. I gave you my certainty, you gave me reasons to doubt my youth. I didn't lose because I trusted, I lost because you lied with ease. Love was the victim, and I was the one left to grieve. This isn't the story of me breaking, it's the moment I learned my worth. I gave you my truth without armor on, every fear laid open in your hands. I trusted the way you said my name, like it meant more than just a sound. I thought love would make you careful, I didn't know it would make you cold. You learned the shape of my weakness, memorized where I would bend. You saw the cracks forming quietly and never tried to hold them in. I was unraveling in real time, you were standing there unmoved. I wasn't asking you to save me, I just needed you not to hurt me. You watched me break and called it fate, watched me break. I kept explaining my silence, hoping you'd hear what I couldn't say. I softened every disappointment so you wouldn't feel the weight. You stay comfortable in my pain, like it wasn't yours to feel. The betrayal wasn't in leaving, it was in staying without care. You let me love past my limits while you counted every tear. Some people don't break hearts loudly, they do it by doing nothing at all. You watch me break piece by piece while pretending you didn't know. I begged with patience and understanding, you answer with distance and control. I was drowning right in front of you, still you chose to stay the same. I didn't shatter by accident. You watch me break. I won't carry your indifference or plead to prove I cared. This isn't the story of me ending, it's the moment I walked away aware. You promised me a future in your voice, said my name like it would never fade. I believed the word always from your lips, didn't know had an expiration date. I built a home inside your intentions, not knowing they were temporary walls. I ignored the way your truth hesitated, the pauses hiding behind your smile. I defended you and I whispered, telling myself love just needed time. I stayed loyal to what we could be while you were already halfway gone. I trusted the word forever too deeply, never asked what it cost you to say it. I was betrayed by forever, not just you, by the future you swore was real. I held on to vows that only I meant, while you quietly learned how to leave. You didn't break me with goodbye, you broke me with all the time before. I didn't fall apart suddenly, I was betrayed by forever. I loved you in ways that were patient, soft enough to give you space to breathe. I mistook your comfort for commitment and your silence for honesty. I gave you faith without conditions. You gave me doubt dressed as love. The cruelest lies don't sound like lies, they sound like hope. Spoken gently, you let me plan a life around your words while knowing you wouldn't stay with me. You didn't steal my heart and run, you let me give it freely, then disappear. I was betrayed by forever, you promised, by the dreams you never intended to keep. I waited forever, you waited for distance. I stayed while you counted your escape quietly. You didn't need another person, you just needed less of me. I didn't lose love by accident, I was betrayed by forever. Now I don't believe in forever spoken, I believe in actions that don't retreat. If love is real, it won't abandon me slowly, it won't let me bleed while calling it peace. I heard the cracks in the way you spoke, but I softened them inside my head. I chose the version of you I wanted, not the one your actions said. Every doubt knocked gently on my chest, and I taught myself how not to listen. You never lied loudly to my face, you just let the truth arrive too late. You fed me hope in half sentences, enough to stay, never enough to feel safe. I kept believing never would change you, like love was something you'd learn in time. I loved you with open eyes, but a closed heart would have saved me. I love past the truth you showed me, past the signs I tried to ignore. I love the silence between your promises and called it death, called it more. You didn't have to break me openly, you just let me keep believing you. I didn't fall for a lie. I love past the truth. I defended you when it hurt to breathe, made excuses you never asked for. I carried the weight of your distance like it was something love was for. I confused consistency with comfort, and patience with being unchosen. The hardest betrayal wasn't what you did, it was what I kept forgiving. I gave you grace, you never returned, and called it strength, called the living. You stayed just close enough to keep me, but far enough to never be mine. I love past the truth you avoided, past the honesty you never gave. I stayed loyal to what we were supposed to be, while you quietly planned your escape. You didn't need another person, you just needed me to believe. I didn't lose you to someone else, I lost you to the truth I refuse to see. Now I don't love past the truth anymore. I don't beg clarity to stay. If love asks me to erase myself, that's where I finally walk away. You saw the distance growing between us, felt it every time you turned away. You noticed how I kept holding on, while you slowly stopped choosing to stay. You heard my voice asking for honesty, and answered me with comfortable silence. You didn't push me off the edge, you just watched me stand there alone. Every time I asked if we were okay, you changed the subject, checked your phone. You let my trust within and fragile, like it wasn't something worth saving. You knew I loved you deeper than you did, and you never tried to stop the damage. You let it happen, every single crack. Every night I cried and hid it from you. You let my love turn into waiting, while you decided what you wanted to do. You didn't stab me with a goodbye, you didn't need to make a sound. You just stood there doing nothing, and let us fall apart on the ground. You let me believe I was overthinking, when my heart was begging me to run. You let me apologize for your distance, like the hurt was something I'd done. You stayed long enough to not look cruel, but never enough to be true. The betrayal wasn't in leaving me, it was staying without loving me right. You watched me shrink myself smaller just to keep you in my life. I gave you chances you never earned, and called it patience, called it hope. You let it happen, you let me break, you let my heart learn how to bleed quietly. You let my loyalty become a weakness, and my love turn into anxiety. You didn't fight, you didn't choose, you didn't care enough to try. You didn't leave me suddenly, you let me slowly say goodbye. Now I know the truth I avoided back then. Some people don't hurt you on purpose, they just don't love you enough to stop it, and they let it happen. We said love would be enough to hold us, like a promise stronger than our flaws. I believed feeling deeply meant safety. I didn't know love could still get lost. I kept fixing what you kept breaking, calling damage just a phase. You let comfort replace intention, let effort slowly disappear. I felt you leaving long before you left, but stayed because I was still here. I thought patience was proof of devotion, I didn't know it could be self-betrayal. We had love, yes, but love alone never taught you how to stay. Love didn't save us, it couldn't fight the silence you refused to name. I loved you harder every day, you loved me softer all the same. We have feelings but no direction, no courage to choose us out loud. Love didn't save us, not when I was alone in the crowd. I forgave things that needed change, mistook effort for sacrifice. I kept lowering my expectations just to keep you in my life. You didn't mean to hurt me deeply, but you never meant to protect me either. The real ending wasn't the goodbye, it was every time you looked away. It was me holding us together while you slowly slipped away. I love the idea of what we were more than the truth of what we became. Love didn't save us, it just stayed, watching us fall apart inside. I gave you my whole heart to hold, you gave me reasons to survive. We weren't broken from lack of feeling, we were broken from lack of choice. Love didn't save us, because only one of us used their voice. Now I know love isn't meant to hurt or beg someone to care. If love needs me to disappear, then love was never there. I Trusted the way you said my name, like it meant something permanent. I trusted the calm in your excuses, the pauses you called innocent. I ignored the weight in my chest at night, told myself love always feels unsure. I trusted effort that came too late, and promises that hated daylight. I trusted your silence meant patience, not avoidance. Dressed as I'm tired, I kept believing truth would arrive if I waited long enough. I didn't lose you suddenly, I lost myself slowly, believing you. Trust was my mistake, loving you was a cost I gave you. Faith you never deserved, I held your words like they were solid, while your actions quietly swerved. You didn't steal my heart with cruelty, you just let me give it away. Trust was my mistake, I believed you would stay. I trusted consistency that never lasted, called it growth, called it time. I trusted that care would catch up to feelings, that love would teach you how to be kind. I defended you when doubt screamed loudly, even when truth stood in front of me. The betrayal wasn't in what you did, it was what you let me believe. You let me stand unprotected while calling distance space I need. I trusted you with my softest parts, and you treated them like something replaceable. Trust was my mistake, not loving too hard, not hoping for something real. I trusted someone who never asked how my breaking made me feel. You walked away with no scars at all, while I learned what honesty cost. Trust was my mistake, and I paid for it in loss. Now I don't give faith without proof, or love without safety to stand. If trusting you means losing myself, I'll choose distance instead.